Would I be wrong if I stopped baking cookies for the retreats that have come to expect them? I work for a quilt shop part-time and once a month we have quilting retreats. Over time I've started to work more at the retreats and it's come to the point where I cook for the retreats and the owners reimburse me for ingredients with the exception of the batch of chocolate chip cookies that I usually make for free. Not to brag, but I make some damn good chocolate chip cookies. The recipe is secret, and it took me years to get the way I want it. The cookies have become a staple of the retreats and the owners have started telling people about the cookies to convince them to buy a retreat spot. I don't get paid for baking these cookies and I don't even get reimbursed for the ingredients to make them. I started doing it just because I liked baking them and giving them to people. It was fun at first but now, when I walk into the shop on retreat times I get bombarded with "Oh, did you bring cookies? Where are the cookies?" I can't tell you the last time I got a "Hi, how are you?" from any of the retreaters or the other staff that work solely on the retreats. Half of the people who come to the retreats don't even know my name. They call me Cookie Lady, despite being reminded of my name several times. This month I've got a friend in town and told the owners I couldn't cook for this month's retreat. When one of the other retreat staffers heard this, they said, "We will miss your cookies." Not "we will miss you," or even a "have a good time with your friend." I feel like at this point my entire worth to them is placed in the damn cookies and I don't even want to bake them for them anymore. I love baking, but part of that love is experimenting with other stuff and the one time I brought brownies instead of my cookies I got bitched at. I feel forced into making them, and it's not fun anymore. I don't even get paid to make them, but suddenly it's expected of me, and it gets me nothing but stress and hurt feelings. So, would I be wrong if I stopped baking them and just told people to deal with it? Update. Would I be wrong if I stopped baking cookies for the retreats that have come to expect them? It's been more than a year since my original post, which I know is quite a long time. It seems a bit silly now that I was so consumed and frustrated by something so small as cookies, but here we go. As a number of the comments suggested, I ended up talking to the owner of the shop and telling her that I wasn't going to bake cookies for the retreats anymore. I told her I felt belittled and disrespected by her behavior and that of the retreaters. Her response was basically, "They expect the cookies. What do you expect me to tell them? They're not going to want to come to retreats anymore. You should have never baked them at all. This whole issue is going to be bad for business." I went home feeling completely invalidated. She completely gaslit me. I read and reread some of your comments multiple times and decided to stand my ground on this. She didn't threaten to fire me or anything. Not that she could have, she needed me, but she continued to guilt trip me and try to manipulate me into baking again. She even had some of the retreaters come to me offering me money to bake for the retreats. At this point it wasn't about the pay, it was how people were treating me. I refused and started applying to other jobs because I was sick of the environment. The thing is, I'm actually a licensed pharmacist. I was working for minimum wage at a quilt shop because I was burnt out in an oversaturated and overworked field. I was depressed because I was a doctor of pharmacy, 8 years of college completed, and I didn't feel mentally fit for working in that field because of my mental health. I worked for this quilt shop for a year. I learned some things, got a break, and regained some of the mental health I lost. This cookie debacle was the push I needed to regain my self-worth and go back to the field that I wanted to be in. Within a month I found a job as a pharmacist at a federal prison. I loved it from my first day. I've been there a year now, and I love every day of it. My job has meaning, my coworkers are awesome, and every day is a new experience. It took a few months, but I got my baking mojo back. I'm known throughout the prison by my actual name and people come to visit the pharmacy for some cookies or whatever baked good I decide upon, and they stay for conversation. I found a job I love and a group of people who appreciate my baking and don't use me as a cookie slave. Thanks, Reddit. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and press the like button below.